So, hi, this is Filbert again. I'm a teacher, I'm an artist, filmmaker, I freelance as an internal and external auditor, and I occasionally into acting. So, there, I am very decisive nowadays to be doing podcasting and, well, as to channel my being a teacher because I know I can't be teaching anymore with all my tats all over my body. So, I had to read another chapter of my book. Um, as I said, this was written during the pandemic, and I have to tell you this that after doing the film I did spend hearts, and it was during that time that my mother actually, who was battling cancer, cervical cancer, let go herself, you know, uh, knowing that I'm into this film quite, yeah, well, it's sort of like, she accesses this very much, appreciates this as well. Because the first one, probably she didn't like. So there, when my mother died, actually, I was kind of experiencing sort of identity crisis in terms of like my relationship with my God. I'm Catholic, but not going to church anymore. And when my mother died, not experiencing sobriety from a father, despite her prayer every single day of her life. She prays her rosary 3 times a day. So I was like hurt by the God that we call. So anyway, so the chapter of my book, I entitled it like my professional qualification and relative education, because I'm really pushing this podcasting endeavor as a sort of my space for my being a teacher. So I tell it my professional qualification and relative education. So having just gotten reconciled with my God after all those recklessness in life, and having paid attention to but my heart upon incidents of events time and again, day after the other, and figuring them out and in its apparent twist, so to endeavor to know every single detail of it all, hostile or not, is simply living in triumph, and exacting it crucially a rarity is bliss in itself, nevertheless, and a call to celebrate life indeed. So I promise to defy calling this as not just any occasion of serendipity at all, but an answered prayer and God's plan, and not heeding His call to live this life is like blasphemy to me. With a humble heart, I realized that everything else that ever happened to my life, which I had graciously embraced without regret, was sort of deglamorization to find myself, my strength, my core, my truth. And serendipitously, this truth is what we call joy in Montessori, which I have lavishly experienced since the time I murdered my own hypocrisy and ignorance as I have persevered with life. So, keen for the right word to say, I am but oblivious of some exact truths that I would still have wanted you to know from a struggling artist, storyteller, or filmmaker. Because up to this very day, I still feel my own misappropriation, although I am confident that this is not knowingly any recklessness at all, or some ensuing quandary. As a human being and a work in progress, life remains a puzzle to be willingly owed at, and I embrace it. Especially now that, I'm a bona fide person with a disability slash bipolar. So, well, leaving my school, La Salle Summers in 1995 March with a BS accountancy degree out of my uncle's vehement choosing, I had quite made some wonderful jobs as a finance guy here in Manila. Until I ended into this quite lucrative job as a freelance tax practitioner, handling various corporate tax cases for a decade now. And it is not an overstatement any less if I would pound that my undergraduate course from Las Alzanes assists everything for me. But this tax practice entails some lawyering and lofty forensics, which at times are handicapping if swarmed with brilliant tax lawyers. I, for quite longer now, have remained a keen and a battling specialist all throughout without prejudice towards maintaining depth and objectivity in a whole lot of professional skepticism. Very sadly though, I still feel mediocre, and it is not because I am often won by the brilliant others, but it's truth that I always say my best with writing and storytelling. And while it is not a surprise for me and to my long-term friends, as I had lived a features writer life for the entirety of my college, a multitude of my peers and corporate colleagues are just more of my wanting this artist's life than being a money tax guy. To be honest, this seemingly cruel conveyance is not devastating at all, and I'm not in any circumstance intimidated without this leverage, and thus my lengthy network has presented ad and thwarting, especially that life in this big city is always difficult and a struggle. Catching a thief glimpse of my past, I know I would always have wanted to be a writer, but life was so difficult that my parents could not even send me to school. So when a Chinese uncle shouldered my college education, I had to be in a nursing school and with this grand hope that I could make a good fortune as a nurse abroad. But unfortunately, I had only persevered up to my freshman year because with retrospect of my gay life, I could not really help but throw up upon mere sight of blood. But God knows that I had made such a proverbial hard labor academically. Apparently, my being in the dean's list did not stop me from shifting to another course for personal consumption. But I would say, because there could be no way I could go to a mass comm or journalism school. Tightening this story, I finished basic accountancy in 1995 with only one columnar notebook for my whole college, and with so many accounting books left unread. But I left a humble legacy in my school as a campus journalist, sitting as features and managing editor in a school paper for my 4 year stint as an accountancy jerk. It could have been a little triumph in college because I made the person I always wanted to be. But charting a career after college graduation would not have been any bliss at all. I was a medical representative, an internal auditor, an executive assistant, a finance analyst, a risk manager, a professional teacher, etc. But all these were and are for me jobs. And I tried harder each day at these jobs to be the best. But my best was not good enough, so to speak, to stay put and focused. That I was always losing and my mediocrity and my burgeoning self-oppression. It was after I left my internal auditing and part-time teaching job in Montessori that I made a life-changing decision to find and get my life back. Because despite its prestige and a very covetous career, as it would have seemed, life was crucially unsettling and a dead weight. And while edging, however, into menial oddities and incorpore others, I was presented with this privilege, having met a mentor. And until now, I would call it God's plan and serendipity to have found myself in storytelling and filmmaking because looking back, I could not really say that I had made such death provoking efforts to be where I am now. But opportunities just afforded, and I'm always grateful for some people who must have instrumentalized my metamorphosis. I am not kidding, but I am not really afraid to die poor as an artist, storyteller, or filmmaker because I would definitely get my eyes closed, having maxed out my Renaissance passion and enthusiasm. But I just hope that I could still make some more meaningful books or films to impact people's lives in my own special way. By this reality, may you please help me go back to my old self and witness my rebirth by your humble way of allowing me to slay into the persona as I may have pleaded to you, and may you give me a chance to engage in a conversation with you upon the story I am conveying for this book I heart sped, a refuge and notwithstanding. I swear that I would exhaust my life to remain being an affectionate teacher upon any good chance, as I am a passionate storyteller or filmmaker. There. So, next time that I'll be talking in this platform, I'll be talking about some of my nephews and nieces and mga inaanak that I help bring out the best, by, well, putting in or institutionalizing a little Montessori in their lives. Well, it's not that I'm ungrateful being a graduate of Alasal School in Mindanao, which is La Salle Zamis. But being a teacher, I'm really in awe of the Montessori system of education. So I guess that's one thing that I'll be talking in the next few days. So it's all about finding joy and using and leveraging Montessori into this platform, podcasting. I hope I can pull through this and be able to make a difference in my own little way. I don't know, I hope I can. I just don't want to be talking alone. I want to engage in a conversation so that my narratives can be, boring. So there, I'm excited. And I hope you guys are gonna support me. And well, this is one thing also that I'd lift myself from not being able to do films yet because of money struggles, and it's difficult to actually pull resources together. Yeah. So there. Well, I'm still a teacher anyway. So, bye. Next topic, I'll be talking about my inaanak. Was so depressed. Yeah. For a while. In fact, he's diabetic, and every month during the time when he was not yet in college, when he could, is always brought to the hospital like on a monthly basis. And after talking to him and letting him realize his strength, by God's grace, he's very well now, and since then was never ever brought to the hospital again. And there are so many other exercises also of life by institution Montessori that they're also able to seize who they are, try to live to their core, to their strength. So there. Thank you very much, and I'm gonna see you around. Bye bye.